Oh, well, no one's on here. That's okay. Oh, I don't go live much, as you guys can probably tell. See if anybody even gets on here. Yep, looks like I'm still alive, but nobody's on. I'll just see if I can wait for anybody to come on. If nobody comes on, I'll just stop this video. It is pretty late. Oh, Watchdog. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me okay? Don't do much live chats, but you know, if nobody comes on, I might just do a video instead and then upload it later. Which is cool. Oh, man. Sweet. Will do, Jared. No problem. Will do. So I guess I'll keep this going and then just share it some other time, but kind of wanted to, I'm going to set this down on the table here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. So Randall touched on something that really kind of hit home about false messiahs. And, you know, this, nothing. Hey, how's it going? But kind of wanted to touch on that because it's true. And it's happening personal to me. There's a lot of, whoa, 16 people. Wow, that's cool. But hey, thanks guys for just coming on. Appreciate it. Gordon game. So anyway, yeah, been thinking about that. You know, about YouTube. You know that. You know, you guys, man, we're just a bunch of dudes doing YouTube and not. You know, we shouldn't be put on a pedestal or anything like that. You know, and there are a lot of guys out there in the YouTube universe, if you will, who are. You know, they're like those false messiahs and stuff. And when they make mistakes and they fall, man, it's bad. And there's a reason why, you know, you shouldn't meet your heroes. But it's happening in the church. There's a famous Catholic YouTuber who apparently got busted for grooming an underage girl, and he was big, and everybody put their faith and hope in him and stuff, which is the wrong thing. But yeah, it just kind of shows that, you know, that's why when I'm doing YouTube, I my philosophy is always, this is a way, not the way, you know. Um, and I think that's the problem, you know, with YouTube nowadays is everybody thinks their way is the right way, and then people watch them and they get famous on YouTube, and they're all of a sudden the expert, you know. Grand Thumb, you know, big famous guy, and then he got caught in a scandal, and everybody got disappointed. And it's like we need to remember these guys are just human, you know. Um, some of them are just dudes posting all kinds of crazy stuff, you know. And then you get the dudes in the comment sections who are, you know, you post a video, you know, and they're in the comments just going nuts, going, "Oh, yeah, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong," you know, not realizing, you know, like there are things that other YouTubers do, and they're in a different area, you know, like Randall, whether he's in Europe or he's over any other place. I don't want to say where he's at, but am I grilling toads? No, James, but they might jump in the fire, dude. They're out here like crazy. Um, by the way, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Uh, where was I? Yeah. People don't consider certain things like the place you're at. You know, what works for someone in some other area might not work, you know, where you're at. You know, you see a lot of kits online, and everybody's got their kits and showing their kits, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, listen to that person. They know everything. And then when that person does something wrong, everybody gets disappointed. So don't hold any YouTubers in high esteem because they're human, they're false, they eventually will fall, you know. They're eventually just going to, you know, make a mistake, do something wrong. That's the danger of putting yourself out there on YouTube like this. But anybody got any questions they want to ask me? Looks like there's only 3 on. If this video don't go very well, I might just end it and just do something else. But I just did this spur of the moment. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I don't have too much to talk about. On Sunday with my live stream with the Com Syndicate channel, we'll be talking about people emulating stuff they see on YouTube because they don't know any better. Yeah, that's true, Jared. That is true. It's why I don't put out. I kind of fell into that for a little bit, doing certain kits and everything, and then I realized, man, somebody else has done this. You know, it becomes oversaturated. You know, so I'd rather put out, you know, 1 video a year that's original than 10 videos a month that are all the same thing someone else is doing. But my channel's not monetized, so who cares? It's not like I'm getting paid for this. And even if it was monetized, I wouldn't make much. Anyway, you guys got anything you want to say? Any experiences that you've all shared? People that maybe you put your hope and faith in and only to let you down? I'll start. I'll give one. Dave Canterbury. That was one. I attended his basic survival and intermediate survival course. And I'm not trying to bash the guy. I'm just simply saying, like, when I first started doing this, I thought like he was the guy. And then you go back in history and see, oh yeah, he made some mistakes too. Um, and then you start learning about the person. But that's kind of my thing. And then I realized, okay, there's a lot of other cool dudes out there, a lot of other great guys, you know, out there. Watchdog preparedness. That's my problem right there, and why I haven't made a video. Because as soon as I think of an idea of video to do, and like, yeah, 3 other people post one up doing the same thing, yeah, it's kind of getting, like I said, it's getting oversaturated, you know. Could be worse. I actually don't watch my videos because you're your own worst critic. I don't want to be that, you know. I'll just kind of skim through them and make sure I didn't say anything too stupid. And then I'll post it and like never watch it. Because I'll sit here and pick through it going, man, what did I say? You know. Um, cheers to anyone out there. I'm drinking a PBR right now. All my Oreos are gone, Jared. 2 Alpha Solutions if you're still there. Well, my sun's up. I gotta end the video, guys. Catch you later. Oh, make the video anyway, man. You get experience and nobody else has. Personality. 1 second. What's up, bud? Huh? What? Okay. I'll be up in a little bit, okay? Alright, come here. My son's awake, guys. Give me 1 second. He's got to ask me a question. What's up, bub?
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you.
That's okay. What you got? What's your question?
Can I have a snack?
You can get some goldfish. There's a whole new thing. Pour it in a bowl and take it upstairs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'd yeah, I'm on live.
I hope you have a nice video.
All right, buddy.
Look at the stars.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe you should show everyone the stars.
Oh, they can't see it on here. Go on to bed, okay?
I love you.
Love you, bub. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Missouri Survival. Yeah, it is opinion, which a lot of people don't seem to like. That thing called an opinion. Everything I do on my channel is straight up an opinion. Only you, Jared. Only you. 1 second, guys. I gotta put some more logs on the fire. Oh, yeah, there we go. Man, I keep getting lost about what I was talking about. Yeah, false messiahs, false heroes. Who'd you guys put your faith and trust in that ended up failing you? You kind of found yourself putting them on a pedestal. I think we all do it at some point, and we almost don't even realize we're doing it. But, yeah, I've watched a lot of videos similar to what I've made. I still learn something usually. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Chris. You know, I guess I should rephrase. Not everything. It's almost the same video, and there are variations, and you can learn a variation from that. So that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Your knife videos are awesome, by the way, if you're still on. If you guys haven't subscribed to Missouri Survival, he does all these cool knife videos. And again, that's something that a lot of people have done, but then he does them and adds his own take to them. So yeah, that's a good point. Also, subscribe to 2 Alpha Solutions if you haven't already. Jared's a good dude. If you need, he's an excellent radio guy, man. He'll square you away. when he has time to. He's also a busy guy, so that fire got high. Yeah, man. Just back to the original topic. Like I said, I was inspired by Randall at Grunt Poof to. He touched on something in his live video. That's why I titled it "The False Messiahs" because it kind of was like, yeah, man, he brought up a great point, and so I kind of wanted to piggyback off it in a sense. Um, as far as false messiahs, we all do that, especially the ones we don't. We all do that. I think it's the bent of the bent of the flesh to get caught up in the idols, especially the ones we don't realize. Yeah, that's true. Trench Karen is my messiah. Is he done hating on 6 Hour yet? I don't know. Fault. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we definitely do it, and a lot of times don't even realize we're doing it. Um, a lot, a lot. We do it more than we think. And not just on YouTube, in our daily lives. I think you know. Anybody having a drink tonight? I know Jared's not. He's more holy than I am. Hey guys, if you are tuning in, say a prayer for Jay Addison, Prepared Citizens. He's going through some stuff. I don't have his permission to say what it is. A lot of you know, um, but definitely keep him in your prayers with his personal issues. Um, has anybody checked on him, by the way? Anybody done a health and welfare check? He hasn't responded or anything. Got to be honest, I'm definitely a little worried about him. If anybody's talked to him, man, let me know. If anybody's heard from him. Yeah, prayers for Jay. Yeah, Jay's a good dude. He's a real good dude. So I hope, yeah, prayers for him and his family, definitely. I made sure to pray a rosary for his situation. For those of you who don't know, I am a devout Catholic. And if you're not, yes, we can still be friends. I'm not that. I'm not that crazy. Oh, yeah. Watch out for those false messiahs on YouTube, guys. Watch out for them. You know, I like to use one thing YouTube for me. The best thing for me is networking. There's a lot of good people that I have met. I mean, if it wasn't for the YouTube area, especially in what we're doing, I never would have done the Sear Challenge. Never would have met Randall. Never would have met Jared. You know, and formed what Jared and I have formed. Jared, I don't know if I can talk about it on here. If I can, give me a thumbs up or something. Um, with him, Jay, Modern Minuteman. Gosh, who else? Chris, Missouri Survival. Get to chat with him here and there. Um, hope to meet him face to face. Hope to meet you one day face to face, Chris. That would be cool. A little humid down in Missouri though. I'll send a video of the TF41 group of what should be emulated. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so Jared and I formed a group, Task Force 41, um, with a bunch of guys. You know, it's not like one shepherd. Some might say it's similar, but um, where we go train together at one of his places, and it's a good time. And it's not all about, you know, training, like just getting in the woods and shooting. There's some other great stuff. Yeah, the humidity's gay. uh, yeah. I'm a cold weather guy myself, Chris. That's why I live in Northeast Indiana, because I get all four seasons at almost equally. So, and I love the cold weather. I will cold weather camp to the day I die. I miss Alaska. Um, when I was there, Alaska was badass. Um, yeah, watchdog preparedness. Yeah, YouTube is great. Yep, Jared, the Brotherhood, Fellowship, that fall winter part this year. Yeah, yeah, me too. That's why my wife and I are perfect for each other, because she's a summer baby and I'm a winter. Well, I guess I'm not a winter baby. I was born in June, but I love the winter. She loves the summer. So, you know, they say opposites attract. So there it is. Swasnt, LOL. What's up, man? Somebody's got a jacked up car right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I think I might switch to bourbon here in a second. Overnight kayak, embrace the suck. Is that because the mosquitoes, Chris? I mean, being on the water in that this the dead of summer has got to be a nightmare for bug. I mean, it'd still be fun, but yeah, yeah. Hey, bro, have you ever experienced the one time when it was so cold you had to faint and not even purposefully? No, no, never had to do that. Um, Never had to. Never been so cold it fainted. I was in Fairbanks, Alaska for 9 months. I think the coldest it got was like -50, and I was just fine. I actually enjoyed it. Great thing about winter camping is no creepy crawlies. Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, back to the main point: false messiahs and stuff. Things that I'm kind of starting to kind of realize is I want to. I mean, I know we're talking now because it's a live stream, but um, instead, just like be a living example instead. You know, instead of talk, act. You know, um, instead of showing a kit, you know, see if I can go out with the kit and do it. Um, that's what I'm hoping to do in further videos, and not just talk so much, but more just this is what I'm gonna do, and see if I can do it. And I think too many people are afraid to fail, especially on YouTube. And which brings me to a point. If you guys have seen Seer 3, where I was a contestant, I'm gonna bring this up now. Randall brought it, the "Do You Trust Me" video. So there was a scene where, and by the way, guys, Seer 3. Let me tell you, um, it was not what I expected. It was elevated to the point where I didn't even know how it was going to be. Um, I thought it was going to be just like Seer 2, and it wasn't. And those guys really, 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 I mean, yeah. And I had never been in that kind of situation of being interrogated, but it's easy. I saw the comments on that video, and it's easy to sit in the comfort of your couch or even the comfort of this campfire, for that matter, and watch a video and see what people are doing, and say, well, I would have done things different when you're not in that moment. And yeah, I put that rifle under my chin and pulled the trigger. I'm not even gonna lie about it. And of course, it was empty. And by the way, what you didn't see off camera was Stoker cleared that rifle probably, I don't know. Yes, I'm near a fire. I'm actually out by it. Here, I'll wave my hand. You can see my hand there. Um, where was I? Oh yeah. Dang it, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, 5,000 times. Thanks, Jared, for getting me back on track. And if you go back and watch that episode, I don't know if that episode's out yet. I think it actually is. Go to Grunt Proof, you can watch it. And, Stoker was talking about my family. He was talking about, do you love your wife, your family? And we were going, my wife and I were going through 2023, 2024 was just some really bad times. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you think you can take, and then you get there and you go, oh man, he's really touching on something that really, really, really is affecting me at this moment. And like I said, completely submersive. And that was not staged. And I think Jared can agree with me on this. Stoker, Brent, Randall, myself, Jared, who else was there? I don't remember. But like everybody was like, oh my gosh, that really happened, you know. Um, yeah, okay, yeah, Jared, you were showing me a picture of my wife and kids. Um, and it hit home to me. And there was some, I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically there was some stuff going down, and I I got so lost into what was happening that I didn't even realize what happened until after it happened. And now, but okay, so yeah, I did something stupid, right? Rather than not showing that, we showed it, you know. Definitely an emotional live fire exercise, essentially. Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, to say the least. And did it go too far? I don't know. Maybe everybody just got lost in the moment. I don't know what Jared or Stoker or any of them were thinking, because I'm not inside their heads. Jared, if you want to shine some light, what were you thinking? I don't know. And I'm not trying to, like, here's the thing. I'll put Stoker on the spot. I don't know if he's ever going to see this, but it it was almost, I'm actually glad it happened, because that moment was almost like killing the old me, you know. I mean, in retrospect, obviously, in hindsight, like looking back, metaphorically, you know, it was almost like killing the old me and then going through a new birth, if you will, which I know sounds kind of cliche, you know. But the point I'm trying to make is I wasn't afraid to fail. I went into the Seer challenge going, what if I fail? What if I look like an idiot all over YouTube? But you know what? At least I can never say, what if? I can never say, I can never go, I can never say, man, I wished I would have done that. I wished I would have done the SEER challenge. You know, um, so and now going through that, I know what to do. So it was good training. That is the purpose of training. Even though it was a challenge and it was live, for me it was training because I had never been through it. And I wanted to learn something and I wanted to test myself. I think we need to not be afraid to fail, even on YouTube. I did a video where I was trying to make char cloth and use it, and I failed. And I'm sure a lot of survival people say, "Oh my gosh, you failed at that? You're ridiculous." Well, okay, how many YouTube channels do you go to where you see them get a bow drill fire on the first go? What you don't see behind the scenes is they probably did it 20 times and filmed it and only showed you the one where they succeeded, which is fine because they want to show you how to do it. But even the experts will tell you it doesn't matter how many times you do something like that, it's still hard, you know. And I didn't get, I mean, I made the char cloth, but I didn't get a spark, and I failed at it. And I wasn't afraid to post that because, you know, I'm just a person learning. I'm no messiah. I'm no subject matter expert per se. I just like sharing my experiences, saying this is what I do, this is what works for me. Okay, that did work for me. It doesn't work for me now, you know. Yeah. I have failed so many times at my everyday job. Very humbling job. Yeah. Failing has made me one of the best. Yeah. Yeah, that's the good thing about failing, you know. That's the good thing about failing is that's the best way to learn. Oh man. So don't hold any YouTuber. Don't make the same mistake I did when I first got on. You know, and like I did with Dave Canterbury. I thought he was the expert, the guy. And don't get me wrong, even though I have disagreements with him and with Pathfinder School and yada yada yada, um, I can't say that I don't regret going to his basic survival course because I did learn some things. I can't say that. And it sent me down a path. So, you know, other people can say what they want. That's fine. Um, I probably agree with them now, but if I had to go back, I'd probably just do it again because I met some cool people while I was there. I met Jake Trent, met Paul Hack. Those are all good dudes. Really good dudes. Now they're doing their own survival stuff, survival schools, teaching stuff. You know, um, one time I tired putting a fire on a matchstick, but it burned my finger. Okay. Anyway, so that's my story, I suppose. That's my whatever. That's a way, not the way. If you want to build a false messiah, I suppose go ahead. Don't listen to me. Learn for yourself. Um, which should be, don't anything I do. Don't take my word for it. You know, research it yourself. I'm just here saying this is what I'm doing. Who cares? Yeah, he was. He was more public. Um, and I'm not trying to bash the guy or anything. You know, um, there are a lot of people in this arena who really, really loathe him, and some for good reason. Maybe they've had some very, very bad things, and I don't. But that was none of my business. And man, it's busy tonight. Yeah, yeah, Jared, we definitely are our own worst critic. Which is why I try not to watch my own YouTube videos, because I'll just sit there and start critiquing the ever living crap out of it. You know, we'll just let the trolls and the bots tell us what we did wrong, and uh, we'll go from there. Hey, I suppose their comments help our algorithm. Negative publicity is still good publicity. I've had to dial back my criticism. I'm just as bad. See, yeah, that's very humbling. That's cool. That's a good way to live there, Chris. Um, we can all look at another person, and we can all point the finger and say it's that person's fault or something, or kind of in a sense a scapegoat. You know, we do that in society. We scapegoat our problems and things onto other people. We do it with leaders, politicians. We do it in religion, for that matter. I think sometimes we also point the finger at other people to justify ourselves. I know I do that. I do that a lot. Something I definitely need to work on. Because it's easier to do that. It's easier to point the finger at someone else. It's easier to say, if this person wasn't here, our problems would be solved, in a sense. Or if this person was here, our problems would be fixed. Well, we all know that ain't entirely true. It starts with us, individuals. It starts with us working on each other, working on ourselves. You can't clean someone else's house if your house is a mess. Go to school. See you later. Not sure what time it is there, but it's almost 11 here. Oh yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys. Appreciate that. Especially shit that makes me mad about someone else. I end up realizing I'm doing the same thing in a different way. Yeah. Seems more pure in my mind, but it's bullshit. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, I got a temper like nobody's business. My wife will tell you. And it's the little things sometimes. It's the little things that really just do it for me sometimes. It pisses me off, and then I look back and I'm thinking, man, I got mad about that. Which is another reason why you shouldn't make a false messiah out of a YouTuber, because we're all just. That's the thing about social media. That's the thing about how it's changed society. I mean, when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and you saw people on TV, you didn't see their life unless it was in some crazy tabloid, and even then those were rumors. Social media has brought so many people kind of down. I mean, we used to look at actors and rock stars and hold them in such high esteem because of the mystery, because we didn't know about their lives. We didn't know about the crazy things they were doing. And if we knew, we probably would hate their guts. But social media has changed all that. You have now, I mean, bands and stuff like that, they got to basically whore themselves out, do all these autograph signings and all this crap. There's no such thing as the backstage pass where you were like super special. It's changed the game completely, to the point where, I mean, look at us. We can just go on YouTube and get famous by doing videos. I mean, well, we're not famous, but people have gotten famous from it, is what I mean. And get paid lots of money. Freaking Outdoor Boys. He just said goodbye, but he was killing it, man. And his videos now that he said goodbye are getting even more. Dude, millions of freaking views. Insane. Insane how many views he was getting. Anyway, I've been praying about my anger. I'm so easily pissed off. Yeah, I'll say a prayer for you, Chris. In regards to that, man, I'll join in on that. And we all could use intercessory prayer. But yeah, social media has definitely changed the game, and it's why there's so many false messiahs. It's why everyone falls. It's why the mystery is gone. Even celebrities. It all started with celebriality, Come into our house, we'll film our everyday lives, and we'll make you think we're just everyday people. And it's like, no, you're not. Sorry, Ozzy, you're not an everyday kind of person. Sorry, Gene Simmons, you're not, Anna Nicole, all that crap. But it's nuts to see how social media, YouTube has changed the game altogether. Which is kind of disappointing in a way. It's almost like you don't even have to hardly work as hard as you did in the past, and before. Now you have to promote yourself. Back in the days, you had promoters, managers, people who would promote you. And all you had to do was bring your talent. Now you have to basically whore yourself out. Which is why I don't care anymore. I don't care if people subscribe or like to my channel. I just don't care. I don't do it. I just want to do it just to share whatever it is I'm sharing. And if people watch it, cool. If they don't, I don't even care anymore. There was a time where I cared, where I actually wanted to be YouTube famous. And it's like, that's ridiculous. I got a family. They're more important than being YouTube famous. Yeah. Guys, I think I'm going to end this video. It's 11 o'clock anyway. I appreciate everyone for sticking around as long as they did. And hope you all have a good night. And see you guys later. I just got to figure out now how to actually end the video. Thanks. Yeah. Talk to Yoda, your boss, Jared. He'll get you promoted. All right, guys. Have a good one.